You guys into the Christmas spirit? You ready? Giving ladies a chance to join. It is now 9:30. We'll get started in a few minutes. Welcome, welcome. Our last class of the year. Tennille, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you ladies doing? You can unmute real quick. I'll let Mariah Carey, I'll pause her. How are we doing? Are we ready for the end of the year? Joy, Tremaine, Trisha, you can unmute. We can chat real quick before I get started. How are we doing?
I'm doing
Well,
good things. Put up the tree the
yeah.
other day in the holiday spirit.
Go ahead. You put up the tree.
Yeah. And then I'm biased. My last name's Noel, so it's only right.
Okay. I get it. I get it. How about you, Tremaine? How you been?
Oh, I've been doing good as well.
Awesome. I haven't heard your voice in a while.
I know.
When did you come back?
What, 2 months ago? What,
Awesome.
October, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like you never left though.
I know. Good to be back too.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Excited to have you on today's call.
Same here.
Our last call was on vision casting, just sharing more of what we have going on with CEO Chicks. That is in your portal. Right now, I am actually inside of our school, and I'm sharing the screen from one of the classes that honestly, every year, this is what we do in-house. This is what I share with you all to make sure you know that it's available to you, as well as for those that may be new. We have what we call how to assess your business at the end of the year. So right at your fingertips, you can log into the school, go to the search bar and put this class in your search bar, and you'll be able to look at it. This is the back end. I didn't want to confuse you guys because it automatically logs me in as an admin, but this is what the actual page, what it looks like when you open up a class. So we're gonna go through it. I know from our last session together where we were doing the vision casting, some of you were just really like wanting to hear more about the prophetic word that God gave me for closing out, for us as daughters in the marketplace and closing out for the year. And I was like, okay, I want to do the assessment. I want to do that. So what I did one even better, asked the team to join me for prayer. We're going to close out the last day of the year for prayer on our Instagram, and I'll share it there. That way we can still cover both, right? I want to make sure you get this business assessment. I want to make sure that you got doing the practical things that you need to do for your business to continue to grow. And so in short, the class is inside of, again, it's inside of the school, and that's what you're looking at. Let me see, I'm trying to get somebody in that keeps coming in and out. I think she's having an issue. So the end of the year, you fill it out. This is something you can download and print. Again, it's how to assess your business at the end of the year. And you put in your overall income, right? And this is a good thing. Whoever has access to your numbers can do this as well. You don't have to be the one doing the assessment. However, as a CEO of your company, you want to make sure that you are fully aware of where your business stands, right? And so it's just good to sit down and go through this. Go ahead, and I'm just going to review it briefly, right? And then I want us to really talk and just dialogue as we close out. But the goal is for you to go into the portal and watch it. But these are some of the questions that ask you, again, what problem does your business solve, right? How does your business generate income? What parts of your business is profitable? What parts are not profitable? What's your pricing strategy and why? I think it's really, really good for us as entrepreneurs to come, as we come back to the end of the year, to really start to look at how when we go from concept to creation, whether we are new entrepreneurs in the marketplace and we just recently launched this year, or whether we are established and have launched new products, right? With CEO Chicks, we'll do something new. Let's see, last year we launched a new event called Mastermind. Mastermind was a hit. It was awesome. Our signature event is Dominate. So one of the things that we'll do is we'll do an assessment, like, you know, brand wise, what was the difference? What problem did it solve? Mastermind was more focused on overall wellness. So there was heavy content driven on mental health, especially coming out of the pandemic. However, there was a tug of war with the trademark. So I did not do another one. That was November last year. I didn't do another one this year because there was issues with getting the trademark that I wanted for that event, whether or not I can really go on tour with it, whether or not. So these are just questions you got to ask yourself, right? When it comes to your business, how did the product, that's considered a product or service for us, if you will. Membership is a product that we offer, right? You all are customers of CEO Chicks. You are members, you are subscribers to our content, to our coaching. We look at surveys when people come, when people go. What are the reasons that women leave? What are the reasons they come back? You know, like, you got to do the digging. And guess what, ladies? Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Get the information and bring it back to the table and perfect your model, perfect your business model. That's what this assessment is all about. So understanding what parts of your business doesn't make you money. Like, there have been times we try things, I'll give you an example with merch, and it doesn't really move, you know? And why doesn't it move? Then we go into why it doesn't move and what we need to do to try to change that. So that you just got to get in here and, like, ego aside, right? And just get into the nitty gritty and get these the questions down. What your pricing strategy is and why. I talked about that, right? So is your cash flow positive each month? Is your cash flow positive each month? Once you do your payroll, once you pay your subcontractors, once you, whatever, for those of you in the fashion industry and doing manufacturing, and, you know, once you all the costs from going from Asia or wherever you're getting product from, you know, what is your overall cost? How much time do you or your management team spend generating revenue? But then that brings me back to understanding what makes you money, right? I have tons of classes about the importance of understanding your money-making habits, understanding, like, what makes you money. When I show up and people experience me, we convert more people into coaching. Like, it's just, so what does that mean when I sit with my team? As much as I'm a behind the scenes person and I'm comfortable now with just doing Zooms all day, there is a difference when we do our live events and people get to meet me. I believe it was a retreat where I got just real vulnerable about that and said, so many people see me online and they perceive me to be one way, or they wonder, okay, she's like this, or they assume maybe I'm a mean girl, or I'm this or I'm that. And then when they experience me, I made a joke during the retreat, and I pointed to one of the young ladies, Tashay, who she and I had a hard conversation. She said when we first met, she felt like I was not, what was the word that she used? Oh, she didn't like my handshake, guys, right? She didn't like my handshake. So I said, okay, what kind of handshake did I give you, right? And we talked about this on a live. I was like, let's have this conversation, because I think sometimes as women, like, we just let these assumptions fly. We give it life. We assume a person's one way, and we don't look at ourselves in the mirror to say, okay, maybe I misjudged. Let me kind of see what's what. And so I made a joke during the retreat, and I said, I'm so glad you stuck around for dessert, because maybe my appetizers was off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a robot. I might have had an off day. I shook her hand instead of this way. I gave her my hand that way, which I like never do. And she said she just felt like we didn't really have a connection or something. She can describe it better. However, we just talked about it, right? And had the conversation, and she admitted to, maybe she said God was dealing with her a little bit, and she was like, you know what, let me give this relationship some time. And she's glad that she has. And she not only became a CEO chick, she became a coaching client. I've been coaching Tashay for over 2 years, from the conception to where she is now with her brick and mortar practice, to breaking into six figures. So it's just interesting. The assessment, the overall goal of the assessment is just to like remove the veil, right? And to look at your marketing, look at your team, look at how much money you're spending, look at what's coming in, look at what's working, even if it's something that might be near and dear to your heart. Mastermind was near and dear to my heart. I could not secure the what was it, the trademark, right? So I didn't have another one. That was something I was like, okay, I can still do the content that I bring. I can still bring that type of content to the table, but I need to brand it differently, right? So we just, again, are having these real conversations. When it comes to speaking, that's something in public, in person, I need to do more of that so people can experience me. That's a real conversation we have to have. As much as I prefer radio over TV, as much as I prefer being on Zoom sometimes over and getting dressed and getting up and putting on the shoes and going outside, like these are just realities, and those are opportunities that my team and I will look for in order to see an increase in business, right? How much, so that was that question. What is your client retention rate? Are you surveying clients? Will your customers refer other people they know to your company? And let me add, are we asking for the referrals as well? Again, for those of you that are hopping on, this is our last call of the year. I am reviewing the course that I want you to take time out to do, and print this out with your team, go over it with those that know your business well along with you. If that's your finance person, your CPA, your head of operations, maybe you're wearing all three of those hats as we speak, then this is something I want you all to go ahead, download, and search it in the school, search it in the school, and go through the class again. There's a video as well when I taught it originally. How much has switching your prices prevented your customers from churning, which also means like just repeat business? What is your social media strategy? How scalable is your business model? Does your business model produce reoccurring revenue? I want you guys, as you hear these questions, we're going to dialogue just a little bit about the importance of the assessment or anything that may pop out to you that makes you like say, okay, I definitely need to do this. Or you might be a CEO chick that has done this before. I definitely want to hear from you. Do you earn before you spend? This is a good question. Do you earn before you spend? Go ahead and mute yourselves. Do you earn before you spend? That's very, very important for you to understand. And are you putting out more money before you make it? Is the business sustainable? Is it paying for itself, right? That was one of the things with CEO Chicks, even when we became a nonprofit. For those of you that missed the class or the vision casting call, it is available as well for a replay inside of our school. But I mentioned moving to a nonprofit because honestly, CEO Chick, every time I would sit down and do this assessment, yes, it really just paid for itself, right? And there are really times where my branding agency, right, which is really my money maker, like myself doing branding, working with clients and coaching clients is really what makes me money and my company money. And when we sit down and look at it, it made sense to make CEO Chicks a nonprofit, right? When we did the assessment. And so now, as opposed to having a nonprofit arm, we are fully 100% a nonprofit organization, public charity that can now partner with other people through donations in order to do more funding. Because what was happening is my for-profit, any profit that was coming in really from the branding services was then going back to CEO Chick. So it was already, in essence, operating like a nonprofit without the title, right? So again, I'm just being super transparent with you all. These are the decisions that we have to make. We have to pay attention to how our business is moving and growing. It's a living organism and you are the leader. However, it is your job to pay attention to the ebbs and flows. It's your job to pay attention to what's working, what's not working. How do we get more of that? Another class, if you're taking notes, I would recommend is our brand quadrant. that brand quadrant breaks down your business into 4 areas of how when I sit with my coaching clients, we're looking at these 4 areas of how your business is performing. And it's from your strategy, your short-term goals, your long-term goals. And one of the things I talk about in there is the Pareto law, that 80-20 rule, that 80% of what you generate comes from 20% of your efforts. So this assessment also helps you to look at what really is making your business profitable or the most money, right? Because even if you're not profitable, you can look at what's making you the most money and say, okay, what activities lend to this level of success and how can we increase it? We begin to place our focus not on what's not working, right? We place our focus on what is working as entrepreneurs, as CEOs. This part of my business is hot. This part of my business is what's working. And so we need to draw more focus here so that we can increase the efforts, therefore the outcome, okay? How much work do you delegate? Oops, let me go back to the oops. How much do you delegate? That's a replay that I hit by mistake. How much do you delegate as a leader? Very important. This comes down to your ability to eventually have a scalable business model, right? Being able to delegate. As a visionary, I don't know, I've been talking a lot. I did a series on my personal page called Making the Brand. And then I did something else for a company. So I'm like, I don't remember where I said this, but I talked about the capacity of how we pour out as leaders. And as visionaries, sometimes we can think that I'm supposed to pour everything I know about my company and what I'm doing into one individual. When as a visionary, you're so multidimensional, so multifaceted. You're such a do what I got to do to get things done individual. Most entrepreneurs are like figuring things out on the way. You know what I mean? Like we're figuring it out. We're doing the classes at night. Some of us might have day jobs, and at night we're on YouTube University, CEO Chicks platform. We got coaches in other areas where we're doing everything we can to get the information and the data in so we can execute. But that's all fine and good for a period of time. But the goal is to then delegate and give that role and hire that role out. So you're doing the job usually of 5 to 8 people. You know what I mean? At the early stages, you're doing a job of like multiple people. So you just got to figure out, okay, this right here, the financial part, I got to put that in the hands of a CPA. Social media part, okay, I got to find me an intern or somebody that does content. Marketing and doing ads and all that stuff. Sometimes that's a different person, by the way. I got to find somebody great at copy and doing ad campaigns and making sure I'm showing up pay-per-clicks and showing up on other major sites or what have you, and making sure my Google rating is up or my Yelp is up, or that I'm doing geo tracking and geo fencing so people know that I'm here. Like those, now you start to take everything you've been doing in the early stages of your business and you pour that into a job description and a role and a person. Again, we are sometimes like so overzealous and we'll pour everything we know into one person. And when it doesn't work out, we feel like we've been bamboozled. We feel like we've been screwed. We feel like, we can't trust people. And then we put up walls, and then again, we get in our way and back to not delegating, back to burnout, back to needing to get with Coach Shelley because we're super stressed or we don't know how to create space to think for our future. Like, so delegate. All that came from delegate. Does your business model provide built-in protection from competition? This is so good, because a lot of times we're not really especially myself, I'm not looking at competitors. So at the end of the year will probably be the one time that I'll be like, okay, what are other female networks doing? Whether it's just business or networking as a whole, business networks that could be even unisex. What are some of the things that they're doing? And I usually always get so upset, y'all. Again, I'm just transparent. I usually get so upset because I'm like, dang, they got all these major sponsors, and come on, Lord, like, I don't understand. They got this person backing them, that person backing them. I've been doing this for years, and it just look. But at least it's like, okay, let me, instead of being salty, like get under control. And how are they doing that? You're right. How are they positioning themselves to where they're attractive to other corporations, right? What is the game plan for that going into the next year? And so those are things that I now have an advisory board that I place in the hands of my board. And I'm like, let's have this conversation. These are some of the things that I'm seeing. Now that we are a nonprofit, how can we position ourselves for those type of collaborations? But also, what does it mean? Does it limit what the vision God has given me for CEO Chicks to collaborate with a major company? Are there going to be tons of red tape? Like, so these are the conversations we need to have. Is your business model based on a game-changing cost structure? Meaning, can you be competitive, right? Can you compete with what with what others in your industry are doing? For those that have been with me from day one, our prices have changed. You have seen the price structure change. It's gone up, it's come down. We've done different things because of what our competitors are doing. So we still factor all that in. Does your business model provide a unique experience product? If yes, can it be patented, right? I know my leader's on here. She has a patent for her My Bikini wear. If you're doing anything that can be patented, that is so key. That is, can you mute your line? We're gonna dialogue right after this. It is so key that if you created something, that you understand what's at your fingertips and get those patents that you need, right? That is very important that you do that. Get the patents that you need. For me, I think about my service side, the branding side, where I'm building websites for people, well, my team, right? We're building websites, we're doing the photo shoots. I'm pretty much the role of the creative director when I work with women and on their brands. And when I think about that service that I offer there, when I do the assessment for my agency, the experience is unique, because honestly, I become the product, right? For those of you that are coaches that are on here, you're the product. For those of you that are pastors, you believe it or not, you're the product. People are coming to hear how you share your message. They're coming to hear how you can really like and make the word of God come to life for them, right? That your ability to do that, to be a wordsmith, to be someone that can make the word of God so plain that they can apply it to their life, you become the product, whether you want to believe it or not, right? For someone that has a fashion line and you're the person that's modeling, I think Peter Gay is on here. She models her clothes all the time. And I'm pretty sure what she doesn't model doesn't sell. I can almost guarantee if she sits and looks at her numbers and she understands her audience, what she doesn't get a chance to model probably won't sell as much, right? For the swimwear line, when people don't see the product or don't experience the product, they usually don't buy, right? So understanding your unique selling proposition in your brand is very important. My book, Brand to Bucks, gives my what do we call it? It's like my method, my approach to branding. One of the members that purchased the book, she was like, man, I don't have the finances to hire you, but I got the book. And she's like, everything's in the book. I'm like, it is. Everything is in the book. I put everything that I do, my approach to building a brand, what I look at. I talk about the M factor in the beginning. When I sit with someone, do you have a team? How do you work under pressure and under stress? Are you looking to scale? I go over the magnetism. Are people drawn to what you have? Like those things are first. And then I go into that S for success model. Okay, well, what's your story? What's your style of doing things? Is a unique way that we all have. And so we begin to like dive in, because a lot of visionaries are not very aware of their unique selling proposition. And so that book, I encourage you to get it. It's on Amazon if you have it, but it walks through and you have to write it out. I break down how to tell your story into 3 easy parts. Okay, start here. This is a close. Then we move on. How do you, what is unique about you? Yes, you all are selling clothes, or you all are coaching, or you all are speakers, or you all are authors, but what makes you unique? You got to know that, right? You got to understand what can really make you stand out in the marketplace. And a lot of times it is our story, right? That builds that emotional connection with our audience and people that can resonate with your story. It's so important. I remember working with one lady in particular. She's a member, she comes and goes as well. And she wrote a story about her life, and it was like super daunting. Like, she went through a lot, and she came to me for branding, and there was a point where we had to pause, because it was like a barrier. Like, the Holy Spirit was showing me, like, we really couldn't go where we needed to go with her brand, because as she was telling her story, it was like kicking up trauma, y'all. Like, it was bringing up like different stuff. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And that's around the time where I was like, okay, I need a Shelly on my team. I need to find someone that can help her get through this, so that she won't get in her own way, right? She's been raped, molested by family members. She's getting ready to tell the story. He's still alive. There were threats. So there were external things, internal things. Then you got me. I'm like, whoa, okay, wow. So anytime somebody's gonna do like one of these like bear all stories, I'm like really, really, really wanting to get an understanding of where they are, both mentally, physically, financially, all of the spiritually, all of those things. I really do my best to assess whether or not we can partner, we can work together, because that's another thing that makes me unique. I feel like my clients don't just hire me, I hire them too, right? I if we're not a fit, I just won't do it. You know what I mean? I'm so passionate about what I do, that there are times that I won't do it. So anyway, I brought this young lady up because even in that process of going through that and finding out what would be unique about her story, we found that there were places that she was yet unhealed. And so because of that, she could not really complete her project or her brand and her launch until she was complete and whole. Because when you are an author, a speaker, you're taking someone, even when you're the product, right? A lot of times today, modern day social media, realtors that are on here, you're the product, right? People are coming for the experience you provide as a realtor, the experience you provide as a coach, speaker, pastor, whatever. And so the journey that she was going to take people on needed to have some closure, but she needed the closure in order to do that, right? And so for someone that's a branding coach and a creative director, I like there to be a nice, like, you have to take people through a journey, but then you have to be able to close it, unless this is a series of books that we're doing. But ultimately, the book was to lead to the ministry that she wanted to provide other women and really bring them into a place where they can go from victim to victor, right? And so she had to go through that healing in order for her to really lock in on what experience she was going to provide her readers, so that she can bring them to a place of closure. Because when you open people up to trauma and you open up certain triggers and so on and so forth, you can't just leave them there. You don't want to leave them bleeding or leave them wondering and weeping. Like, we gotta take them somewhere, and we want to bring them to a place of wholeness and peace. So anyhow, wanted to bring that up, just something I experienced with someone, and just kind of share how this assessment, really how you need to just really, again, ego aside, bear all, what's working, what's not working, and what we can do to strategize around what is your strong suits, the areas that you see limitations, so on and so forth. Last but not least, and we'll get into some dialogue on the last 20 minutes here. I added to this how to assess your business at the end of the year, a sales copy cheat sheet, and I teach more on what that is when you're writing copy. Again, a good segue. I was just talking about an author. It's important, the words that we write on our websites, on our social media, on our personal pages and business pages, the stories that we are telling, they are so important. When you are posting, when you're doing video, don't forget to make sure that if you're a teacher, you teach on your social media, right? You want to take your customer on a journey with you before they hire you, before they purchase from you. You want them to know what it's like to work for you, work with you. And so this is a sales copy cheat sheet that you can print out as well with your team and start to map out your overall content. And then it's pretty cool. I break it down in the class as well. And I also give examples for how I sell. One of our coaches, so the interesting dynamic about CEO Chicks is the ladies that are on our platform that come to you guys and teach, they're also like mentees, you know what I mean? They've become mentees of mine, from Christina to her brand, to Jen and her career, to Kim and her brand, all of the ladies. Like, we have time where we sit down and they're like, okay, I'm pressing them at the top of the year. I'm like, okay, leadership call. What does your year look like? How can I support you? What do you need help with? We have been really talking to Shelly about doing her first event. So when Mastermind came, I said, you're the keynote for Mastermind. And she was like, okay. And she had a list of all these people that she wanted to bring to the table to share. And I'm like, you're tag, you're it, right? And so one of the things that a lot of the ladies that I mentor that closely, that I talk to them about, is when you are sharing and you're getting ready to share. We had a session, Shelly and I, yesterday. She's doing her first live event, and I'm doing the branding for it. And so it's called Teach Me How to Heal. We got teachmehowtoheal.com. We did everything. We're working on all the logistics for it. And yesterday in our session together, or a day before, we started to really strategize on her soft launch. What does the soft launch look like when you're getting ready to go forward? She's doing her first event next year. Training wheels are coming off. She does so much for her community, for the Haitian community, for CEO Chicks, for all the places. I said, you have sown, you have been faithful, and now it's time to do your own. And I know how that feels, but you are not alone. We're going to walk through this. And so we got everything up. She's making the announcement very soon, but we started to talk about copy. And she has 2 girls that works for her virtually. And so one of my questions to her was about the story, right, of the product. Because not only does your brand have a story, but then each individual product that you offer has a story. I think about makeup lines. Each product. Let me get out of here, because this right here just kind of breaks down copy. But I want y'all to see my face. Let me stop sharing. So each product has a story. Any signature, when you go to get makeup, right? Even though the overall brand has a story, they have created products that have individual stories as well. And so anytime you're launching something or you're getting ready to step out, I want you, now you understand your overall brand, but now this particular event or this particular product or this particular book has a story as well, right? Just like we have kids as mothers. They're not all the same, right? The brand, this is the Otero brand, right? I represent the Otero brand. However, mother has her own story, right? Daddy has his own story. My kids, they have their own stories, their own giftings, their own way of flowing. And so one of the things I talked about with Shelly is understanding the why behind this event. I understand Act Shelly as a brand, but now we got to get into your overall why for this event. What is it people will experience? And I really want to be able to tell that story when you begin to market it. And so we started to talk about the soft launch and what the soft launch would look like, the initial announcement of her event, how she should do it, and just really going through it. But the copy and what you write is so important. It's so important. I wanted to stop sharing so y'all could see my face, so I could tell you, write. You gotta take time out to just kind of write what's on your heart, even if it doesn't all make sense. I'm not saying you just gotta write what's in your heart and what you want people to experience, the who, what, when, where, why of your event, and give it to someone who is a writer. Hire someone who does content writing and copywriting. But it is so important that people can make a connection to your event or to your product, right? So I'm gonna go back. Let me read what I wrote here, because when I posted for this event, this copy, I can't remember what it was. This offer is for 10 women. What does that do right away? It creates urgency, and it also lets you know it's exclusive. A lot of my offers, I do not shoot for the masses. I am not interested, y'all. Let me tell you how uninterested I am when it comes to popularity. And even though I know I need exposure to sell my stuff, listen, I am good with intimacy because I am pretty deep and I don't do surface very well. So because of that, and I understand how I'm wired, like I'm deep. So my copy is going to like shoot right for the heart, right? You know who you are. You watch my page for years. So that's the who. I'm covering the who. You watch my page for years. You like my posts. You've contemplated coming to events. You know you should have reached out, but fear held you back. So now I've already told you who you are. I got so many messages from this one post from women that have followed me for years. Like literally, it was like, I called you out. This is for you. So I just kind of start going in. There's power in proximity. I really believe that. I said it earlier, people have to experience me to know I'm not this cute mean girl, or I'm not putting up a front on social media or whatever. Or if they had a bad experience, like I said earlier, my appetizers was wrong. So you got to come back for dessert. I promise it'll be sweet at the end. You know, I don't know. Was having a bad day. But the reason you are not seeing your next level is not due to a lack of vision, but a lack of action. Let me share a little secret. God made us to need the help, something like that. Yeah, I guess I did. Positive pressure and influence from others. I don't always proof my stuff. I probably should have proved that's a little error. From those that cannot only support you along the way, but show you the way based on their experiences, track record, and receipts from hardships and success. So I just start to share my heart and then go into what the offer was. So yeah, I want you guys to like, it's okay to go deep. It's okay to have some of your posts be light and fun and airy, but then there's times that you got to go deep. There's times you got to just kind of go right to the core. I really have been doing this going on 7 years, doing CEO Chicks going on 7 years. And it's not until now that I really feel the fullness of who I am, like really being able to show up 110% like who I am and it be received. Because little by little, I began to just like grow and do the inner work as a leader and allow people to come along with me for that journey. And so that's going to happen as entrepreneurs with all of you. You got to let people come with you for the journey. The product, the first time you did art compared to where you did art now years ago, how many times artists cringe when they see the first time they acted or the first time they produced anything? It's not going to be perfect, but you're perfecting it. It will never be perfect, but you're perfecting it as you go. You're perfecting and you're mastering that thing as you go. And so it requires vulnerability. It requires you tapping in spiritually. Yes, it does. It does require you tapping in spiritually to who you are, how you're wired, family, generational blessings, generational like limitations. Come on, we all got them. So it requires all that for you to like come forward and be who you are 110% unapologetically and attract your tribe and attract your client and attract your customer. And so that's the journey. Let's dialogue a little bit about that. For those of you that are just getting on, we had a vision casting call last. And on that call, I talked about sharing a word God gave me during the retreat with you all. I decided to do that when we have our end of year prayer call on our CEO Chick Instagram. So, because I wanted to go through this assessment. It's so important. It's so important that we do these assessments. I have one young lady that has a wellness company. She does it every quarter. She's like, this thing has like really opened my eyes so that I could see where I am as an entrepreneur, where my team is, or where I'm leaving money on the table. One of the things because again, what I give you guys, like I use, when someone hires me and they're paying $500 an hour, $9.97 an hour, these are the tools that I use to do the digging, right? Like I'm the girl with the shovel. And I'm like, we need to figure out what's what here. And so I remember she hired me. I went to Louisiana. We did an assessment with her company. We sat with ladies from her team. She's still a member today. Her name is Shakira. She just got done doing a TED Talk in Africa. Like she is killing it. And so this is the same assessment. And now she does it every quarter. And on one of the calls, when we talked about it, she was like, I'm so glad I did it. I found thousands of dollars. Like she wasn't realizing how much money she was spending before she earned on this one particular location that wasn't yielding any fruit for her. So she went and renegotiated and said, I'm either going to leave or I'm either going to leave and stop paying here, or I'm going to figure out a way to negotiate my contract. And so she ended up leaving, and that money went back to doing what makes her more money, So sometimes we're so busy, right? Just going and doing and going and doing. And we're like, okay, are we being productive? So, all right, any comments, questions? I'm done with my ranting. Let's unmute and let's get into it. We got 15 minutes.
Hi, so my comment is, two comments.
Who's speaking first?
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is Tanea.
Hi, Tanea, welcome.
Hi, I just want to know, I cannot find the website, to get the classes so I can, print out what you just said that we needed to fill out.
Sure. I'm pretty sure I have your email, so I'll do that after. If not, what's your email?
It's be like in boy, TONNIA@gmail.com.
And that's where you signed up as a member as?
Yes, ma'am.
So once you guys sign up as a member, you get a follow-up email that says complete your membership. That has all the details in it for you to access the dashboard. So you might have missed that step. So what I'll do is I'll resend that email out to you so you can set up and you can get to the courses that way. All right.
Okay.
Any questions or comments about today's assessment?
Yeah. So my comment is that, my jewelry, I'm the consultant for paparazzi and stuff like that. So I noticed I had got kind of not stagnated, but like in procrastination, because I see so many people like in the business, and I don't want to come out because I have invested so much into it. So I wanted to know, what do I do? My pastor always told me I need to get delivered from people, and that's where I'm stuck at right now.
So you're comparing yourself to others, number one. And so you don't want to share because you feel like they're sharing, or what made you join?
What
made you join paparazzi?
It's funny because I started just buying the jewelry because I liked it for myself. But then I started buying too much. And so people was asking me, oh, where you get that from and where you get that from? And then I was like, well, I would just literally like take the pieces off and just give it to them. And then I was like, so I know my style is totally different because I'm more elegant. I just put on jewelry. I could put on a jewelry with jeans. And so that's how I got into it. I said, well, if I have so much of it, I might as well start selling it. And I do sell it. But I was just afraid to go on Facebook and do lives like other people because, I was in a situation where my mouth I just got my mouth fixed and stuff. I just didn't think I was, I guess, pretty enough to be on Facebook. So I just,
Wow.
Oh, don't do that face. That's gonna make me cry. And
Because
then,
I'm grateful for your vulnerability, because those are real thoughts that we have. I'm not good enough. My hair is not right, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. And and your pastor's right. You got to get out of your own way, but there's a process, right? Sometimes it's like I mentioned about the young lady I was writing the book with, and we kind of came across some things where I knew she would get in her own way and she needed to work through some of that trauma. So identifying where those thoughts come from, you know, and where they were planted. Sometimes it's going back to your childhood. Like sometimes
Mhm.
it's some deep stuff. Like we didn't wake up one day and just say I'm not pretty enough. Like I deal with body dysmorphia. My nickname was Biggie before there was a Biggie Smalls, and I recognize that. Like there's times I'm like, even though I've lost so much weight, I still see the larger version of myself.
Mhm.
So those are real conversations. And so I think it's important that you find the mentors and the coaches that can really walk you through that. Like first to deal with how I see myself, what do you say about yourself in the morning? Like after you pray to God and you do your meditation time and you're listening to your word, what are you saying about you, right? What are your I am declarations? I'm beautiful. I'm wonderfully, I'm fearfully made. I'm bold, right? I'm, I'm
Mhm.
I'm the best jewelry seller this world has seen. Like these are the things that we have to start to replace and retrain our mind. We do, and get out of our way. So there's a process that you have to begin to walk in. The book Atomic Habits, I would recommend, is huge. Atomic Habits is right here. I think it's James Pearl, is a powerful book. I would recommend you start reading that. And I think I gave you counsel before about doing too much. Did we have that? Was that you? Where I was like, you
Yeah,
do a lot?
because
Okay.
um, yeah, today makes the day that I don't want to cry, but today makes the day that it's a year anniversary that my daughter been gone. So,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, we just, it's hard to get through the Christmas. Um, my grandchildren that I've been taking care of, they just been ripped from me because grandparents have no rights. So I haven't seen my grandchildren in months. So,
It's a
and it's
lot.
like I'm trying to fight, for insurance, and they told me I have no rights to that. So I just keep trying to do other things to keep my mind, because I know me. If I slow down, I break, and I won't be no good for anybody.
Mm. Well, on that note, I recommend. No, I'm telling you, like you're not at a position where you're not at a place right now where I would recommend going hard in business. You're just not. Like that's the reality. You gotta slow down, deal with what you gotta deal with so you can be whole when you're moving forward, because those things start to cause triggers that will stop you. And one thing, when we ignore our body, it comes to a point where our body will shut us down. When we start to ignore our body and just keep trying to push through, go through, push through, go through, like there comes moments where your body's like, guess what? You're not winning today. So I would definitely recommend Atomic Habits and making sure you're focusing in on the inner work that you need to do so that you can be the best leader. You're doing stuff just to be busy. You just said it. You admitted it here in this sacred space that you're staying busy because you don't want to grieve. I need you to grieve. I need you to grieve. You have to grieve. You have to grieve your daughter. You have to honor your daughter. You made it 1 year. And we're believing God that as a grandmother that you'll get the insight, and God will give you favor so that you can get to your grandkids. Like I have no idea what that's like. But you gotta grieve. And so I'm gonna send you Shelly's information as well, to talk to. There's ladies on here that some of them may or may not admit it, but they're seeking the help from other people when it comes to their mental health. And a lot of times that's like taboo, right? You said something earlier, and I'm like, yeah, pastor said get over yourself, or you just gotta kick down fear. But there's some stuff that's going on, that some things that we don't get at the altar, we get at the couch. Come on. We might not get it at the altar right away. It might just bring awareness. Now you got to go back and do life and figure it out. And so you got to get on somebody's couch Find a Christian counselor, find a Christian therapist, someone that's not just going to medicate you, but help you walk through that deliverance and go back to that little girl that was wounded that says, I'm not pretty enough. You're not, and then you might realize jewelry is something that is just something that you started layering yourself with because you felt you weren't pretty. You might not even need to be selling jewelry. It might have just been something, how we dress, how we layer, how we do all these things. Sometimes it's just to try to throw off because we feel we're not pretty enough. You might find out so much, like you don't know what you're gonna find, but peel back the layers. It's okay. And I just thank you for being so vulnerable this morning. Because there's ladies on here probably in tears right now that are like, we love you. And anybody that wants to encourage her right now, feel free. Feel free to unmute if you want to encourage our sister this morning. That's rough.
I just want to thank you, Tanya, because I can't even imagine. And I'm just praying for you, and I'm sending you so much love this morning.
Yeah.
That you find the peace that you need for you and your grandchildren and your family.
Amen. Go ahead,
I
Tara.
just want to tell her thank you because, that is a plight that a lot of women face. It's a plight that I face, the whole not being enough, used to face, because I don't know what happened at my secret place retreat. That thing just lifted off me, tormented me for 42 years, not being enough, not feeling smart enough, not worthy enough. And I left that place with the supernatural confidence. So that fear, I don't know, it had to be the move of God. And I know that this safe place that Colleen has been brave enough to step up and build for us, I'm so thankful. I love you ladies. I appreciate you ladies. I am a stronger and better woman because of the women in this movement. And sis, your grandchildren are coming back to you. This is a season where a lot of people are grieving the past, the members of our family that we have lost. I'm grieving my mother this holiday. My brother's dad just died yesterday. So it's a trying season, but God is more than we could ever imagine. So we just got to continue to lean on him and then ask for the help. I got deliverance from the couch as well. I've been in counseling every Friday for the past several years, and it is something that has really helped me, especially with someone who deals with bipolar disorder. I don't take any medications, but I take, Jesus, and I take that couch. And it's helpful. It's helpful. So I second what Colleen says. Talk to Dr. Shelley. She is amazing. I have learned so much in just her conversations with me and helping me with my confidence and just helping me realize that I need self-care is the best care, and I can't be good to anyone if I'm running around doing too much. So that was the same advice she gave me that Colleen is giving you, and I've slowed down quite a bit, but not too much. So I thank you. I'm praying for you. And thank you, Colleen. I just love you guys so much.
Yes, it is well. Yeah, so I'll send you that information. And again, as leaders, and I know you're just starting out in business, but for some of us that have teams, right? We're leading teams, and it's important that we do the self-care and the inner work as leaders. At any stage, whether you have a team or not, it's just so important. But it's now you're leading others, right? I'm leading a group of women when it comes to CEO Chicks. My ability to deal with anything I'm going through as a leader is so important because now I can help you guys grow, right? It really does help you help others. So just know that it is well. It is well. All right. Anybody else has a comment, a question about the assessment, about any aha moments that we've gone through? Again, you are going to be pulling it up on the school to watch the replay along with the sales copy cheat sheet and the PDF you can download and just start working through that. Anyone else want to share or come on camera Let's do that now for the last 3 minutes. If you have a question, unmute yourself or come on camera. I'm looking at the chat. I see you, Peter Gay.
Good morning. How are you? So of course I'm always commuted when you start your live Zoom. So I'm in my new location, and so now I'm managing 2 locations. So I just sent you a message like, I think I need help. So I am going to, if you can, sit down and have like a consultation, because as you said, the quarterly, you want to see, are you spending more than you're bringing in? Because you know, in retail, you have to put out more in the beginning, and you have to constantly replenish. So a lot of times you are putting out a lot more, and you know, scaling. Like I told you before, one of my challenges was hiring. So now that I started to hire, so now I just wanted to figure out how to budget it all.
Got you.
Yeah.
And so are you normally sending who does your numbers now? Like, who's doing the math for you? How's that work?
No one's doing the numbers for me but me. Like I check
Okay.
all analytics, and I have my really good accountant. So I am working with my accountant, but I need to get more deeper into my numbers for sure. Like I know what I'm bringing in monthly is definitely a profit. I know that, but then it's the overhead, and and as I said, it's staffing, and then it's also just miscellaneous stuff, you know, that comes with business. So I just need to get like a better system. Now that, like I said, I have 2 locations, so I just know that I'm gonna need some structure.
Yeah, I understand. And my mind goes right back to being a district manager for several locations of a salon. Is your CRM the same at both locations, and do they talk to each other?
Well, right now, this is my 3rd day in this new location, so I can't thing yet. And this, like I said, it's a new business, and you understand that. So it's
Yeah.
taking it. So it's just a matter of, I would just scale up. I was given the opportunity, so of course I just wanted to scale the business, and it's kind of like I using it as a marketing tool because we're in the mall, so I'm able to upsell the other business. So it all worked hand in hand, but it's really day 3 for me now. I started Monday, so this is day 3.
Awesome. And congratulations.
Thank you.
How's it feel?
Scary, very scary. It's like, you know, as you said, I'm a faith believer, so it's kind of like one of those crazy faith. It's literally crazy faith. It's literally fasting and praying, and because I know what God has for me, I took the chance and leap. But I also know that we have to do things in order. So I'm firm believer in doing things in order, which I have been doing. So now this is like, okay, now you took me to this level. I know I'm gonna need support. I need help. And my son, who's like very prophetic, he said to me last night, he says, Mom, you need a team. You need a team. So it's just one of those things where God always gives you what you ask for.
Yeah.
And that was my ask this morning. And here we are.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, for sure. Shoot me your phone number, and then I'll text you. We'll set something up. So overall, though, I love what you're saying. Like you're moving, you're going. You recognize financially that you're making a profit, but you really haven't crossed your T's and dotted your I's so that you can really look for opportunities, right? And really understand your business, where there are opportunities and where there might be limitations, so that you can see where your limitations are. And so excellent. And a lot of times, you know, for creatives, being in the beauty industry and working with salon owners and creatives, like that's normal. Like,
Yeah.
it's so normal as creatives to have the ability to attract and to pull people in because we are so expressive. We bring people joy. People are like, you're a whole vibe. They just want to be around you. And it's like those creatives, I love it, but they just don't have the analytical side. So they always have to usually bring someone in for that. So just know you're very much at a good place. That's very normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll definitely get together. I have like already tons of questions that come to mind. We'll be here all day. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? Thanks, Peter Gay, for sharing, and congratulations. All the ladies in the chat are saying congratulations. Geraldine said the one you mentioned in this class, it looks different. Geraldine, what are you referring to? What is the cheat sheet? Is it under the CEO Chick assessment? Yes. So when you go into the class and you click 400, the 400, how to assess your business at the end of the year, you have the video at the top, right? So you can go to the video, then it says additional resources. Our last class of the year, which is like, right? And then you go to additional resources and the PDF is here, as well as the cheat sheet. So it's all here. I'm actually in the class right now teaching from our school. All right.
I have a question, Colleen. Hi. I have been paying for my membership and I haven't taken advantage of it, but I love it because the few couple, like the couple times it's just amazing. I love being a part of this. Whenever I do plug in, it's been extraordinary for me. So I don't know. I know you probably sent an email of the process. I don't even read my email. I have like 117 unread emails, 117,000, sorry, 117,000. So is there a place that I could see what's next? Pretend I just started today. Is there a place that I could see, okay, what are my benefits? Where do I go? Because when I logged in,
You gotta log in.
I did.
Okay. So once you log in and we do the text message, that's mainly the way we keep everyone abreast of what's going on.
Okay.
Email and text.
Okay. So I'll just go back. I can look up I haven't really deleted any of my emails. So I'll just go back and see what's been going
Email
on.
and text is it for me. Like we email and then we text. We have a group that is like, that stays in on email, and then we have a group that they rely on text.
Okay.
Which one did you get today? Was it the text that got you?
Yeah, I was on the phone. Of course, I'm always on the phone when you do this. So I want to log in and I've tried to, and then I have to hang up because I get distracted and I'm like trying to listen and trying to talk.
Yeah, I know.
So
I get it. CEO chicks are busy. You're not the only one.
No, I
But-
know.
But text and email, and then we update via social media in the group. Like we have the Christmas party is tonight over in Lake Nona. Like we put the link up for that. That's going to be at Chrome, or is it Chroma or Chrome?
Chroma, yeah, Chroma.
Tonight at 6:30 or something like that. So you guys can come out to that if available. Make sure I gave you the right time. Yeah, 6:30 today. We're meeting there. Yeah, so between Facebook, Instagram, but mainly Facebook. Like if you're in a Facebook group, like keep up, we'll let you know what's happening for the month. We send out a monthly email at the top of the month with everything happening for the month. So email and text is pretty much it.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm super excited. My goal for 2023 is to definitely just get into my CEO Chick membership and try to have some of these things that I have going on in my mind out onto paper and into the world, and see what God has for me. So
Yes,
thanks for doing this.
Execute. I love it. Take action. Anybody else? My leader says, I've been leaving money on the table no more. Yes, I love it. We don't want to leave it on the table. Geraldine, let me know if you got what you needed. Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, guys. So listen, we are going to look out for the email, look out for the text. I'll make sure that when we do that last prayer for the businesses, we would definitely love you to be on. That is going to be the 30th on our Instagram with my team. We're going to continue to just speak life and pray for our businesses. I will share more of what God spoke to me about just what he's doing with his daughters in the marketplace is powerful. And I can feel it. There's times where it's not always tangible, but I can feel it, you know? So thank you so much for being on, and do that assessment. If you ever have any questions, you can always email us at the office at admin@ceochicksonline.com. You can DM me. Peter Gay, I have your information. I'll call you after this. And Tania, I have your email. I will send you access to sign in again, and Dr. Marceline and Dr. Shelley's information, which are our two kind of go-to for counsel. All right, ladies, love you. Continue to be prosperous. Your hands are blessed, and just continue to dominate. I'll see you guys next year. Love you.
Bye-bye.